All right, I hope you have your seatbelts on because we're going to go for a ride. In this section, we're going to open up our code editor and explore our newly created project. So I'm going to start up my code editor and I'm going to use Sublime Text. Now, you, of course, can use absolutely any code editor that you want inside of this course. I'm really not watching, so feel free to use Atom or Visual Studio Code or Eclipse or whatever it is that you want. I don't even have to know. Now, I wouldn't say that any editor is better than another for working on React projects. That's why code exists, right? Now, in addition to this course, we're not going to ever depend upon, some editor-specific features, right, in order to get through. So again, just feel free to use absolutely any editor you want. In fact, you can use multi-editors simultaneously. But once I have my editor open, then I'm going to open up my project directory. All right, so here's my newly created first app folder right here. Now, inside this folder, you'll notice that we have a couple of different files and folders. These are all automatically generated for us when we, created our project in the beginning. So I want to take a look at some of the different files and folders that are here and get a better idea of what they all do. So let's go over a couple of things quickly. First off, here you'll notice that the SRC directory, SRC stands for source. Now, if you open up that folder inside of your code editor, you'll see that there's already a couple of different files inside of here. Now, again, these are all automatically generated by the Create React app. Over time, we're going to add a lot more code to the SRC directory. But in general, we're usually going to delete these automatically generated files inside of here. So basically, you can understand how to set up a React project from absolute zero or from scratch. So the next directory is the public directory. The public directory right here is going to contain different static files. So what's an example of a static file? Might be an HTML file that never changes, or an image, or maybe some music or something else that we might want to serve up from our application. We're going to talk about the public directory throughout the course. We're going to learn a lot more about it, but I just want to show you where it is. And the next is the Node Modules directory. Node Modules contains all of the different dependencies that we have installed into our project. So this consists of all dependencies that you just saw at your terminal a moment ago. Every one of these different folders inside of here represents a different dependency. Now, in general, we're never going to have to manually go into the Node Modules directory. It kind of just exists here, and you don't really have to worry about it too much. Now, the next step is the package.json file. The package.json file right here will list out all of the different dependencies that our project requires. And it also has a little bit of project configuration side of it. Over time, we're going to do several updates to the package.json file. And next we have a similarly named file, the packagelock.json. Now, that's the name that I see. You might see a different name in your text editor, but it's a little different name in my text editor, as you can see right here, yarn.lock. It's absolutely fine. Don't worry, nothing to see here. Okay, I'll tell you, to be honest, because I had installed the Yarn Package Manager, which is an alternative to NPM on my computer, and that's why we're seeing different file names. Now, I'm going to recommend to you to use it on your own project because it is going to be faster than NPM, but right now, we don't need to use that package. We're just going to use NPM, okay? Now, this file records the exact version of all dependencies that we installed into our project. So if you scroll down, you'll see that there are a tremendous number of records that we've already installed into our project. And then we come to the README file. So the README file has some directions in it, tells you how to run this Create React app project. So if you want to, you could definitely take a look at it, see what's inside of here. But in general, I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know. Now, there is one last file inside of here. It is the gitignore file. Now, the gitignore file is a reference to the Git version control system. And essentially, it lists out all the different files and folders that Git should ignore. So it's going to be tracking our project and maintaining a record of all the different changes that we're making to our code base. So hey, that's all. That's what we get by default when we generate a project with the Create React app. So when we come back in the next section, we're going to finally start writing out some code inside of our SRC directory. And we're going to be getting a better idea of how JSX works. All right, see you in the next lecture.